Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Newsmakers, a program of the Rock County Civics Academy, where we bring in the people who are making the news in our community for conversation, to get up close and personal. It's important that you have that opportunity to know the people behind the decisions that, frankly, have so much of an impact on the quality of life we enjoy here in this community. I want to welcome into the studio Drew Pennington. Drew, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
You are the President CEO of the Greater Beloit Economic Development Corporation and the Economic Development Director for the City of Beloit. That's two hats and two different roles, and
Correct.
that's a lot of time. Tell me about how those two roles differ, and yet at the same time they complement each other.
They do, yeah. So we're primarily, it's a hybrid role, as you mentioned, housed within City Hall. The City Economic Development Office is essentially the corporate headquarters for GBEDC, as we call it. But the real advantage to it is that I'm not constrained by the city limits. So any entity, local government entity that is a member of GBEDC and in the Beloit area, I can provide services in terms of economic development services. So business attraction, recruitment, can offer sites, whether they're in the city or the surrounding townships. Our other members are the village of Clinton, Wisconsin, and South Beloit, Illinois. So we also cross the border there.
Oh, okay. Okay. So that's the Greater Beloit Economic Development Corporation. And do you find yourself then in your role as the Economic Development Director with the city constrained at all? And who do you serve first? Who's your first priority?
It depends on what project is hot at the moment. So, the job is primarily City Economic Development Director in terms of the cost sharing agreements that are in place. So that's the primary role, but the GBEDC role is a close second. And so typically a project has a defined focus, whether it's a parcel of land or a search radius. And so it depends on where that search radius is. But we support our colleagues in South Beloit, Illinois, of course. We work with, make referrals to Clinton and the town of Beloit. Town of Turtle is not currently a member, but one of the larger economic development projects in this area was actually in the town of Turtle last year. So we provide assistance to that entity as well.
You have a lot of hats, and the whole area of economic development is somewhat of a mystery to a lot of the community. We hear about economic development, but everything that you do up until a certain point is confidential, and it happens behind closed doors, and then suddenly you have a new prospect that is willing to go public. How does your role actually work? How do you make things happen?
Sure. So it's primarily a role of making connections between land that's available, buildings that are available, incentive packages that are out there at the state and local level, and the people that are going to make it happen. So a lot of referrals go back and forth between myself, private industry, our friends at the state who have some tax credits and other incentives. There's a constant flow of communication between those entities, trying to pull deals together. Housing certainly has been a focus area for economic developers around the state over the last few years with good reason. More and more of the job is about creating housing opportunities, creating a good sense of place where people want to live. Really focusing on talent attraction as opposed to simply job creation.
One of the challenges that the city of Beloit has specifically is the fact that you're an importer of labor. On any given day, I believe you're importing something in the neighborhood of 10,000, 12,000 jobs. And at the end of the workday, those people turn around and they're headed back to their home base somewhere other than within the city.
Correct.
And there's a lot of reasons for that. How do you address that?
Yeah, so we are a net importer. We also have a lot of our residents go elsewhere to work. So there's a mismatch there of about 14,000 people coming into the city each day, 14,000 leaving. for work. So that is an area where we've addressed it a couple of different ways. As far as the importing question, we are trying to create more housing options so that those that are employed in the city can choose to live there. So we've got a variety of incentive programs through tax incremental financing we've used. We've also offered up land that we have an interest in, trying to make it a more attractive place so that people, when they get a job or they get a promotion, have an opportunity to live. We have seen that demand increase. So that I would say that is a significant shift in the last decade.
Okay.
We have employers saying, I've got so-and-so, I've hired for a managerial role, they want to live in the city, they can't find a place to live. So the demand is there. On the flip side, workforce development is a focus of our organization as well, trying to make sure that the young people in Beloit have access to opportunities to develop technical skills, develop soft skills. We're very close partners with all of our school districts. For example, we have a workforce development committee that meets monthly, where all the districts and some of our larger employers collaborate on different internships and apprenticeships and other things to really build that pipeline so that young people coming out of Beloit Memorial or Turner or Lincoln Academy have the skill set to enter the workforce if they want to do so.
That whole area of workforce development is a whole topic in and of itself. Talking about the housing impact, you have a large employer potentially who is in the middle of a major construction venture with the Beloit Casino and Convention Center. That project will go online probably next year sometime. The last numbers I saw, they're ultimately going to be recruiting a couple of thousand employees. Where do they find those workers? And perhaps more importantly, how does the city of Beloit absorb those workers?
Yeah, it's going to be drawing a large labor shed, including Janesville, Edgerton, Milton, down to Rockford, Belvedere on the south end, and then eastward along I-43. We do have a large influx of commuters, as you mentioned, and you can see that in our industries. They pull from a large area. Part of it is the ease of, with the expansion of I-90 and 43 coming right into Beloit, it is very convenient to get in and out.
It's an easy commute.
Yep,
Yeah.
It's an easy commute, and a lot of folks coming from other parts of the country think nothing of a 30-minute commute if it's congestion-free. The short answer is we need to bring more private sector developers to the community to build more housing units of all types. The programs that we've started are really nibbling at the edges, but it's going to take ramping up. We have a solid core of home builders, many of whom are locally grown, that are building anywhere from 10 to 20 houses a year each, but we do need to ramp that up. Same with rental housing. We need to ramp that up so that the workers at the casino and other employers have opportunities to live.
To ramp that up requires the city have the limited tools that you possess strategically employed so that you have the right incentive at the right time to get the right interested parties to the table. The biggest tool that you have, and probably the most important tool you have, I guess, is tax increment financing. How does that play into the housing market? Because that's not necessarily always the traditional role of TIF incentives.
Yeah, you're right. So the one tool that we've deployed is the TIF housing extension, which is a statute that allows cities to extend the life of a TIF district by a year, use that increment collected to fund affordable housing. That program is pretty limited in terms of 75% of that funding has to be affordable. 25% you've got some flexibility on. The programs we developed were right at those marks of 75% affordable with limited success. The market rate programs we developed are much more nimble, and they are more successful in getting projects up and running earlier. So I think that, you know, our professional organization for economic developers, as well as other allied organizations, are in constant conversation with the legislature about, can we, it's a great tool, can we broaden it a little bit, and make it a little more flexible, maybe extend, you know, the duration of it, or relax some of the limitations on it. But it is a tool we can use, and along with conventional TIF, the really nice thing about the TIF housing extension is it is not constrained to a defined geographic area, so you can use it citywide, and we've done that as well.
Beloit seems to have a great degree of success right now. You're on a bit of a roll. You've attracted a good bevy of developers who are moving projects forward, and you're putting new housing online. What's been the secret sauce that makes it work in Beloit?
In my opinion, it's a partnership, the public and the private partnership working together, the city with private industry, supporting each other. There's lots of examples of that. I would point to the you know, a recent Riverwalk project that has a ribbon cutting next week, of an example of the city working with a private developer to secure some state funding to remove a building over the river, create a river walk, and then turn the private land or the land back over to a developer to create some units. So everyone's been kind of rowing in the same direction. Speed to market is also a key to our success, and certainly our other communities in Rock County have taken advantage of that as well. It's simply much faster to get a shovel in the ground in Rock County than other communities. So that's a point of pride.
And that should be a point of pride in many of the communities, is the fact that that level of cooperation is very visible. Still, there's been something unique in Beloit that has made a difference, and here in recent years you've made some incredible strides forward, well beyond those of other communities. And I guess I got to go back again. What is the secret sauce?
Well, we've certainly benefited from private investment. We have, you know, very successful business people led by the Hendricks organizations in investing. That organization, you know, turned strongly into hospitality several years ago with the creation of hotels and restaurants and entertainment. And that is all part of this circular process of creating a place that people want to be. So the same amenities that draw visitors to the community, and we know where our visitors are coming from. We know where they're not coming from. But the same amenities that visitors are using, we're using to try to attract businesses.
And it's working. We are going to be out of time. Unfortunately, we'll have to continue this with another conversation down the road a piece. Drew Pennington, you folks are doing some remarkable things in Beloit. I think that it's a community that others around the region should be looking at and maybe replicating some of the successes that you have by figuring out your secret sauce. Drew, it's a pleasure to have you here.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. My guest, Drew Pennington. He is the President CEO of the Greater Beloit Economic Development Corporation and the Economic Development Director for the City of Beloit. That is going to wrap this session of the Newsmakers. Stay tuned. We'll be bringing more of those folks in your community who make the life that we enjoy in Rock County so special. Newsmakers is a product of the Rock County Civics Academy. We thank you for your time. Have a great day.